So what's up? I'm not going to play for long because this is just supposed to be short. But so I'm prepped. Been prepping for 10 years for this, and about ready. Just got a few things. I mean, you never know what's going to happen in the end times, but especially because last time when I went to the RNC, they put a lot of stunts to try to keep me locked in this city. It was very weird, just how everything was against me. But yeah. Anyways, won't talk about that because none of y'all believe anything unless I say I watched a TV show on TV last night. There's no point in any of that. So I'm not worried about any of that. Don't need to explain, describe, nothing. Hold on. What is up? Whoever's here. I always change my settings so only certain people get seen. So I need help because I'm about to hit the road here and go on the campaign trail. And I have no idea about like what to do, like basic stuff, like kind of flies right above me, right? Like once you read like, let's say for instance you're interested in math. Once you read like level 30, like grade 30 math, you forget a couple things from grade 6 math, because it was so long ago. It's like you forget basic stuff, and I've never been obsessed with traveling around and going to different towns so I could go vacation to a different bar in a different town. This has never interested me. So I have no idea what I'm doing. Like my first time I went out to do this stuff, I totally forgot to start recording, not necessarily because I didn't have 3 cameras on me, but because I wasn't used to it. I'm used to only recording when I know I'm around violent people and people who have just robbed me or whatever. So I wasn't prepared for that. And then so the next times, obviously, I started developing device. And then eventually I learned that when the FBI comes knocking on your door, they can access your device and start deleting stuff off of it after they leave. So you completely wreck your device, apparently, and maybe make it so it can't record it again. But I need help here because I don't want to get out here into the streets and I have to eat food. I mean, these are stuff I skip a lot. I used to do all this, which I get no fucking respect for any of this, because there is no respect in America anyway. So whatever. But I'll complain about that. I just need help. I need people to tell me shit. What I need to do. I assume no one's on my side, so no one, like very few people ever interact with me positively on YouTube, and that, or most places, or most anywhere, unless it's real life, because they're scared to interact with me negatively in real life. Plus, people are more realistic in real life. They're not like, oh, you're a crazy retard. Like when you hear me speak and you hear the shit I talk about, you don't think people are retarded when you can't understand what they're even saying because you don't understand the words they're using and the things they're discussing you've never heard of. So I don't get that in the real life, but here on the YouTube, I I ask for help a lot, and like y'all don't help me, and I'm trying to help you here. So it's not like if some I know a lot of people refuse to speak to me for too long because like the women who tried to date me, they just like specifically one was like you're way too deep for me and stuff like this, and it's like I just go to bars all the time. Like she told me all this stuff. It's like, yeah, well, I know that's the opposite, but it's not that you can't help me if you're not like a genius, right? That's the thing about smart people is like we overlook some real basic stuff sometimes. So I need help with that. Um, I'm not looking to receive much help in America because I don't expect it. The way they've ran their schemes on each other, themselves, their own family, me especially, so many times, I don't really expect it. But maybe some of you guys can tell me like you guys are all normal people. What do you do when you like travel and stuff? When you go on vacations, like, it doesn't matter if you're going on vacation to take over the world, or if you're going on vacation to Disneyland. There's whatever it is you guys do when you go on vacation. Um, I need to I need to know that stuff. Seriously, like I pack. What do I pack? Like even when I had gone on vacation when I was a child a couple times, I was forced to. So I blocked all this stuff out of my mind because I was basically like tortured. Um, when your father leaves you alone with a woman, that's parental neglect. So uh, I was basically fucking tortured because um, you shouldn't leave men with girls to raise them. So I blocked all that shit out of my head. I don't really remember what I need to pack. Some soap, a toothbrush, and granted, I probably had most of this stuff packed for 10 years when I started doing this. When I started traveling with the elite, because um, I wasn't aware at that time that I was specifically packing for this month and what's happening this year. But I started packing them because I was traveling with them all the time, right? Because they're from DC and Hollywood and they travel the globe. So I was traveling with them here and there, and they're always, like I said before, I don't have to believe the truth and reject it as much as you want. It doesn't change it. But they were trying to get me to go to DC, and so I have most stuff I think I need already packed from like 10 years ago. Now, obviously, I'm gonna have to go through the bag because I do this. You got to go through your prepper bags every year to 3 years, depending on the environments, and you might have to do it after after every summer season to get rid of the damaged goods in the bag, especially damaged foods. Got to go right away because they melted from sitting in the car or whatever. But I need to know this information, right? I need help. Uh, again, I wonder who I'm talking to sometimes. Like they don't allow my channel anywhere, and they shut down G Plus, man. That's where I would go for help. A lot of people in there, and they all repeat what I said, whether they like me or not. I notice whether you guys like what I say or not. Uh, to go fucking campaign trail for the campaign trail. But it doesn't really matter what I'm packing for. I'm packing to travel. So I don't know how to do this. I haven't ever really done this except for when they tried to get me to travel to go see Trump and stuff before in DC. And so I kind of got a few things down. Yeah, 2020, Sean Jones 2020 presidential campaign. Yeah, I posted a video on that. And I've been preparing for it for 10 years, but I obviously didn't tell no one because, um, you know, I don't want them to know what I'm doing, period. That's why I'm doing it right now. And I'm not, you know, I've been preparing for it, but no one else knows that really, except for since about the end of last year, I've been saying, hey, I'm running for president. And so I'm going out. Like I was going to start this week, but it's all a matter of me getting things done, and I want to make sure it's done right before I just jump into it. I mean, I would love some help, man, but um, I'm not going to accept help from any of them. You know what I'm saying? They've already tried to help me by trying to recruit me with Trump and all that, and I don't want that because to any real people, like if I would have been hanging out with Trump the last 10 years, I would look you know, like a total liar. I would be like, hey, screw the elite, but I'm over here hanging out with them. So I don't want any help from anyone who's not, who's involved in it, because that's going to discredit me. What's my actual strategy? Strategy for what? I mean, which strategy? I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna tell people the truth. I'm gonna tell them the answers and the solutions, and I'm gonna tell them the alternatives that happen all the time in history. Uh, I'm just gonna tell people the truth. If I get on stage with any of these people and debate them, they've already lost. But I don't think the media and the government's going to do that because they're scared of me and they're scared of any reality. That's why all the candidates are their bloodline or they're all picked ahead of time. Almost all of them are picked a long time ago. Like they started putting Trump on TV a long time ago. It's a long time ago, but Trump's bloodline his family is their bloodline. So he was like, he's been raised for centuries as one of these people. So he doesn't, he really doesn't need to be bought off or anything. But if he did, that little small chance he did, they took him over through the Purim ritual, so he can never say anything against that. I don't trust him. He hangs out with bad people, and there's going to be no bad people allowed around my group, and he won't talk to me anyways. Did you see me? Did you see me when I tricked what's his name? The other guy? Have you seen my other videos? Who's the guy who I did get on a video with? None of these people will talk to me, dude. I was interviewed by Breitbart, and they wouldn't air that interview at the Republican National Convention. They interviewed me, and they don't want to talk about me. So I've been trying to bait these people to talk to me for a while. I called Patrick Little a long time ago, and I told him, I was trying to educate him because he was new to it, even though he's not. That's a lie. Patrick Little isn't new. He's just a liar. He's a new celebrity on TV. I tried to contact Patrick Little, but I'm nobody to him. I don't have enough money for him. I'm not a famous TV star. He just basically was like, I don't have time for this. Send me an email. And I was like, dude, I already sent you an email. That's why I'm calling you. And I've got these calls recorded. Dude, you left? Did you leave? Really? Dude, Patrick Little's a scumbag. You can tell him I said that. I do. I tell him all the time. He's too busy for people like me. See, that's why the campaign strategy easy. I tell people the truth, and they choose the truth, or the empire continues to choose lies, death, and enslavement, and God continues to rain fire down upon their empire, as he has all winter long. He started burning them really bad, at the end of the year, and then he started freezing them really bad for months on the end. And then he started he's flooding them now. He's even flooding Australia. But now I'm off topic because of that. But why would I talk to Patrick Little? Dude, how new are you to this? Dude, I've been involved in this stuff for a decade. And if I'm involved in something in a decade, I'm at an intelligence level that's 3,000 years old. A decade is a long time for someone like me. Oh, you're there. Dude, how come it says you're not here? What the fuck? I was trying to bait you to see if you were talking. Well, I'm gonna go to where all the media's at and where the media records, and I'm gonna get right in front of their faces and hold campaigns and say a whole bunch of stuff to begin with. I've already done this and I've never got them. That's interesting that you're here and it doesn't show that anyone's in the room. I wonder how it's going about doing that. But yeah, so far my campaign strategy has been my poster. I have my poster that has the Israel Times picture, the Israel Times article, Jews do control the media. And it's a super huge poster. It's as big as my body. So you see it. I have to mount it on my freaking shoulders and back. It's Jesus carrying a crucifix. It's huge. So everyone sees it. When I go out in public, everyone sees it. My sign's way above the tallest people's heads, and it's just super huge. And I keep it pretty simple so everyone sees the sign. And it's just a matter of I get right up in the media faces and I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm like, what's going on with your bosses? Your bosses are they're genociding the Arabs, they're genociding the whites. What's going on with you guys? Why are you guys lying to everyone? And then the media people are like, hey, you can, not literally, but you can tell they're oh God, he's talking about my boss. But most of them are them. So it's they know what I'm talking about. I found that surprising because generally pundits are not them. The Breitbart interviewer was not one of them. You could tell that was not one of them most likely. She seemed really excited about my poster, even though she wasn't a white, aka a Nazi. Although working for Breitbart, you never know. But uh, I definitely caught people's attention out there. Hey, what's up, David? But yeah, I don't know how to get the attention. I've been trying to get their attention at these events every now and then, like I go out during the really crowded events. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to be who I used to be to get it. Like when I was a kid, I was like a pretty bad kid. I just burnt society down, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to go back to some of those tactics. Who the Ashkenazi are? Where are they from? Where are the Ashkenazi from? Well, the other political events are hard to find because the campaign trail seems staged. I couldn't ever go visit Trump and to ask questions there or Clinton because they only tell you 2 days in advance, 48 hours. A normal person can't do anything in 48 hours. Had I been more prepared, I could, but this seems really staged. And the RNC seemed fake too because no one's seen Trump. No one who wasn't wearing a suit could say they seen Donald Trump. You weren't allowed anywhere near it. They had, tanks and military helicopters, probably mounted with guns. You know, they had a lot. The biggest military and cops. Biggest, most steroid injected, HGH injected I've ever seen. They're keeping you like a mile away from where Trump was. So I'm not sure if there is such thing as a political rally if I've never seen it. I've been to OWS, but that's not really a political rally. That's just idiots gathering who and they're not like, pushing an agenda. But yeah, I go to the news direct. I'm going to go to the news. I'm going to find the most populated places in the nation and in the globe, and I'm going to go to these places on the most populated dates and hours, and I'm going to do it then. And so hopefully there'll be news at most of them. But I think my best strategy here is to go to where the media is at on those busy locations. Like in New York, you have like Times Square, and there's like all those places there where they record their morning shows and all that. Like we have that here. So I figured if I can find out where all these places are, those will be my best places to go. The most populated area, and right in front of the news. That way, at the very least, if they refuse to report on me, then I will have tons of evidence that they refuse to report on me. And that will prove that the entire government is a stage show. And then from there, we go forth and to, final plans. You know, the final option, the final solution. Some people call it in their fables. So, nah, that won't work. They're not going to cover me. And besides, these people are scumbag. I live in like Israel 6, so they're not going to vote for me here. I need to reach the people. The people in this city, they're cowards and they're not very bright. It's the worst place to be for anything. Although if I could trick them into monitoring me, I can't. But I could then, if I tricked them into covering me, then I could, tell them something intelligent and maybe they would understand it. But people in this city, at least when I talk to women online, they run away instantly. Like the males in this city, they don't want to hear any sort of truth or anything. Even the people from Trump, FBI who came into my life before, they insulted this city a lot when they came here. And they actually were the ones who woke me up to what's going on in this city. It's this city of like all. It's like the fattest city in the world, possibly. So they are highly gluttonous. That means they are benefiting hugely from the global scheme. And any sort of pulling a cheese, any sort of pulling a dollar from them is pulling a cheeseburger from their mouth. And I don't think that's it, but I don't think I have that chance. And the world doesn't have that much time left. We're not going to just sit back and let America keep genociding the world and robbing its own people and killing its own people. There's not that much time left in the world. America's taken over about the empire in general, Rome, whatever you want to call it, Illuminati, have taken over about 190 of 195 nations, and they're going into battle against like three of those nations that are left. So there's not that much time left in the world. You can see they're pulling the dollar reserve and all that stuff. The other nations are sick of America, so they're or USA. So they're I don't see it as there is that much time left. I don't have that much time left anyways. I die soon. So I don't really see it as me having an option. But if I would run for a local thing, I'm giving them time to I'm sure they already have a bunch of blackmail in the wing, and they're just scared to use it and waiting to use it for the proper time. Because if they pull out Trump cards, then I pull out Trump cards, and if they're watching me, they know I have Trump cards, and which of course they're watching me, and I know, being me, I know they have Trump cards that they refuse to act on, and it's highly logical why they're doing that. So I'm not going to give them time because there isn't time. First of all, the whole strategy 10 years ago of me starting to educate people and the methods I use were on a design that there's not enough time left, and there wasn't enough time left 10 years ago, and they're still destroying the other nations. I mean, look who they've killed in the last 10 years. They're bombing Syria all the time. They killed Gaddafi. They've started trying to overthrow France. They overthrew Khazaria, aka Ukraine, and they took Ukraine back. So just in 10 years alone, they've advanced their agenda really far. And I think within 10 years, I don't. They're not going to win a war, but I think that if they push into the war with Iran and China, they'll completely lock the media down, and anyone like me will be rounded up and thrown into a hole or executed simply because I speak against the terrorism, and that's like what it is. It's just that war is just another word for their terrorism. So they always, like when they did that versus the Germans, they started rounding people up because they knew that they couldn't fight. They couldn't take a chance at the world figuring out what was really going on there. So they had to start rounding up Japanese and Germans during that time frame. And they'll do the same thing as soon as they're decide they're going to push against those other people. And clearly they're going to have to soon because they keep pushing for war, and they have to keep pushing for war. They can't stop because they run out of money if they stop pushing for war, and then they collapse. And they're not smart enough to understand anything other than just kill people and steal their money. So that's what they're going to keep doing to hang on to the nation. Okay, so they don't understand, they don't seem to understand anything else, so they're just going to keep killing people. I don't even know who Arthur Jones is. Never heard of it. But I don't have any time to research any other people's. I'm going to be homeless here soon, so I don't see how I'm going to run for campaign right now and later. The government just robbed me of most of the money I had. And they've been spending a lot of the last 10 years stealing money from me through their little criminal back doors, which is great because it's God teaching me how these people work. So I know exactly, like when we start rounding up doctors and stuff, I know exactly which charges they'll be faced on, because at first people are going to cry like, oh my God, he's a dictator arresting pedophiles and evil people without proof. They're evil people. They're just highly linked to pedophiles and evilness. And so it's a time frame. In the time frame, I've forced them to push their time frame. I contact the presidents of many nations, not just America. I contact the these alphabet agencies of many nations, military of many nations, and I've been working specifically to speed up the time frame, because if I change their if I change their agenda and force them to have to change it up or whatever, then like slow it down or speed it up, then it changes how they are putting it out, how it works, period. It's like if you're chasing me in a car and I flatten your tires, I just ruined a little bit of your problem, a little bit of your game there. Good luck chasing me. So I've been working on this for a while. I can't just take time to let them pick me up, and there's no reason for me to remain in Columbus anymore. This is a dead city. The people here like are on like a third grade level education, and I'm I mean it's like hell living here because I've been completely alone here. So I'm getting out of here, and God's also not giving us 8 years. You see, he's destroying America. He started burning it down really bad. He started freezing it and destroying their infrastructure, and he's flooding it now. He's flooding Australia. God's not going to give people more time. God didn't actually tell me, hey, you need to run for campaign. God's been training me to be a warrior, and I'm just trying to use the knowledge he's given me to like offer people a peace branch. But at the same time, the offering of the peace branch will show the rest of the world that America refuses to accept anything real. Want they want it to continue. So it's the plan. It's been a long plan. I don't need to take over Columbus. Columbus is irrelevant. I didn't prep to take over Columbus. I know how to fix the country. I don't know how to fix Columbus or anything bad's happening. And people have already tried this in Columbus. There's a councilman who already tried to change things, and he like they would start railroading him. He would come in and tell them like, hey, you guys are criminals. One of their paid puppets. We had a councilman who was trying to run on that. It was trying to run locally on change things, and so you can't do that because they just use the cops here are terrorists and they'll arrest you. I mean, if they don't kill you, arresting is the kidnapping. So they'll kidnap you, but if they don't kill you, and so the cops are already proven. The newspapers even brag that this happened. This was an open thing. I'm sure I've got the information saved. I've saved everything the last 10 years. But the councilman was railroaded out completely. He was never allowed to talk, really. No one cared about him. The people in this city don't care. They want, they want burgers. They want more cheeseburgers. And that's all they care about. But I'll tell you, part of my campaign is on arresting rich people, and we can share the cheeseburger wealth. We can redistribute the cheeseburgers. So, hey, maybe I could do that, but I probably can't because, like I said, they already had that candidate, and they already railed him out. The cops worked with the councilman. It's rigged, and that's mainly the point of this, to show the rest of the world. This is what God's telling me. God's telling me that there is no saving USA, and it's going to be just like UK, Rome, Babylon, Sodom, Gomorrah, every place that the empire's laid its hands on before. He's already told me that's the cycle. Like, he's shown me that everything's on a complete cycle, and I'm trying to disrupt God's cycle here. I'm trying to attempt to change that energy, and I'm not even sure if that's a positive change the karmic balance of the world. But you can't run on this local stuff because they're all criminals. The people here don't care, and unless I really did try to change some of my propaganda to free cheeseburgers and free alcohol, I don't think these people in the city care about anything else, because they didn't care when the other guy was getting railroaded. Like, I was like, hey, you guys are criminals for doing this and that, but no one else cared. Hey, what's up? Oh, people listen to me all the time. People have listened to me since I was like freaking a child, dude. People listen to me, period. It just, it's just the way it is. Like, something about it. When, when people start hearing me talk in the real world, they listen. It happens when I go out to all these events. I don't, I have plenty of power. I'm not part of a criminal organization here, and that's what you're calling power. I don't need to be a councilman or a lawyer. Hold on. I don't need to be any of this other stuff to get somewhere. That's not part of the plan. I'm pretty sure the whole point of God setting my life up like this is because there's going to be an all-out war. And most of the, I mean, they're bragging too. The humans, they brag in their Bibles, they brag everywhere. They're going to wipe out most of the human population. And the the purpose of this, I know Americans are not, or USA citizens are not going to be able to vote for me. If they wanted to, they wouldn't be able to because they'll rig it. But if they didn't want to, I think that's the more likely possibility because what I say offends everyone. Because I have a problem. I have a mental condition where I can't butter everything up and lie all the time. So I'm not a good politician. I can't run for office here and there, but you simply can't run for local office because the councilman already proved it was rigged and staged. So, and in fact, it was proven 30, 40 years ago that there was a candidate that was trying to run, and the media completely censored him for president because they didn't want him there. And so eventually they rolled out Alex Jones and Ron Paul to be that third party. There was someone, like if you look it up, there was it's still even out there, the documentary, but it was a whole documentary on this guy who ran for office, and they completely tried to wipe him out of memory and never let him go anywhere. So this campaign isn't about just necessarily being president. It's about protecting the rest of the world from America, and it's about offering America a peace branch before the rest of the world has to make an action. And because they don't want to, because they're not killers and terrorists for the most part, or at least they're just not good at it. So good people don't understand how to deal with bad people. But I think there's also at the same time there isn't just three bad people. There isn't just Soros and Ronald McDonald and Casper the Ghost who control America. There's billions of people in America, and they all pay into the government, and they all support it to some extent. And it just, if you're a liberal, you support this. If you're a liberal, you support this 50% of the government. If you're a Republican, you support that 50% of the government. And if you're a libertarian, you support a select 50%. And if you're Green Party, you support a select 50%. None of them are really about change. This necessarily isn't like I'm highly doubting Americans are going to want to vote for change. They don't want that. Well, they kind of did, but I don't think they're even going to be given a choice. They're not educated enough to understand me. When I talk to anybody, like, it doesn't matter what it's about. Like, no one understands me anymore because they can't. Like, I'm at a musical store talking to people about musical instruments, and they're like, you don't need more than 4 strings on an instrument. And I'm like, well, maybe you don't because you don't know how to play it, but I definitely do. And it kind of goes that way. Like in the technology, like all these technology, Linus Tech Tips, like the largest tech channel, and he was involved in some scams, which Tech Syndicate, for a few seconds, exposed, and then they kicked Window out, who was the smart one, and then they went back into the line. So it's like the campaign isn't necessarily about me expecting people to vote for me. Why would they? People can't begin to understand what I'm saying. They're so brainwashed. Like a toddler is smarter than most people because the toddler has not been mentally washed. And so the toddler can go goo goo gaga, and you'd be like, well, that could be true. But an adult's like, George Soros pooped in my cereal this morning, and what were they telling me? They were telling me, oh yeah, this one person's and all her followers. The truth are the liberals control the weather. Like now, instead of God destroying nations like God has always done according to their Bibles, you know, it's the liberals destroying America because liberals hate homosexuality and Sodom and Gomorrah or something, right? So there's just not enough time. Like I'm not going to be alive much longer, and I don't have the money to keep doing this. I didn't have any money to start, but I'm like stealing a bunch of money so I can do this. So it's either one time or it's no times, and I've already taken the money, so I have to move forward with that. And plans are plans. I'm not gonna change my plans just because. I mean, I appreciate you actually showing suggestions. Can you clearly as you can state your primary campaign goal? To protect the world from the people who control America, the USA. That's the primary goal, and to stop the genocide and robbery that America has been declaring ever since they developed the power to be able to force it on the rest of the world. Basically, restore the Constitution would be a large portion of that. But we're a different nation now, so the Constitution needs slightly rewritten, and that's actually stated by the founding fathers that it needs change every now and then. And it's also stated by them that war will be the only way you can change it once it's out of control because it's not like they're not like idiots. Like they didn't have TV back then. They couldn't sit around watching TV and be brainwashed. So it was just simple. It's like, yeah, hey, this is what's going on, and this is what's always been going on. So yeah, I don't. And my campaign goal is like slightly that simple, but also to change the world. Like when I bust up their tech schemes, and because they're enslaving the humans, or at least enslaving me, and so everyone involved in that is going to they're going to suffer God's wrath for sure. It's not that people are going to, no one's going to get let off the hook. That's that's going to be the main thing here. So then slavery of the people is going to end. The hiding of future tech from people is going to end. The killing people, drugs like putting children on methamphetamines, trying to kill them that way is going to end. I mean, just like the main campaign goal is to save America from USA from itself and from the world, and save the world from it. It's not a huge goal. It takes a very few things to change it. It's just they're criminals who have written a thing. See, everything's really simple in this world, and they've made it all complicated, so it's confusing. You're just like in a room full of smoke trying to look around. You can't see anything, but in reality, the room's like empty except for a chair and a light switch, and that's kind of like that's what the world's like. But they're just confusing it, and they're doing this so they can enslave and rob and genocide. Like they're obsessed. They're like they no people watch like The Simpsons or whatever on TV for entertainment. These people they kill people for entertainment. They rob people of money for entertainment. It's not necessarily they they have the money, so they don't need the money, but they enjoy stealing it from people. The lollipop the 4-year old had, just because they're like, yeah, now you don't have that 10 cents it costs to buy the lollipop. The problems that are all going on are super easy to fix. I detailed them slightly in a hour and a half long video. Once you start fixing one or two things, the rest of it collapses in. You make a couple changes, and everything starts to shift. It's not that complex and hard. I mean, at least not for me. I mean, maybe I'm just good with this stuff, but it's not that hard to understand what's going on and what they're doing. It's basic. It's easy to bring war to the nation if they would vote for me, which I don't think people want to because they want to they want the burn empire out, but I don't think they're going to let me on TV. But once I do that, that will prove to all the good people that it's completely rigged, and anyone who participates in it further will prove themselves as the terrorist and enemy of humanity. If I can get that proof out there that they refuse to cover me and all that, that's like 1,000% proof that everyone in the nation is in on it, and to some extent, at least, right? At least every person makes above $500 a week, pretty much, or 1,000, whatever. The media owners, media pundits, everyone. Like, if I travel all over and they're continually ignoring me, then that's like a great accomplishment, and that's a great step towards fixing America, because that will prove to all the nations that America is taking over and robbing everything they can, and Syrians and the Asians and South America, and I wouldn't doubt they're robbing Canada, but I never looked into it. But Canada, no real reason to rob them. They're like a little chihuahua. They're like, yes, massa, yes, massa, woof, woof. So I don't think we necessarily have to rob them. We could just be like, you know what, we need some money. And they'd be like, oh, here's some money. Don't hurt us. But I think getting that out there and proving that to everyone would be like great, because it'll hopefully prove to the other humans that the people they're dealing with can't be reasoned with, and it's just a terrorist. Uh, it's a syndicate. Yeah, who are my political competitors? People who are breaking laws, criminals who are terrorists. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not wasting my time, dude. Of course, it's the biggest goal one could. I'm not looking to take over the world. I guess that's a bigger goal, but that's their plan. Although, of course, if I would be put in control and allowed to get through the stuff, like the world would want me to keep leading them, and they're already taught they want USA to lead them, but they somehow, some of them are brainwashed and they don't understand that they're being robbed, and it's because the propaganda is so complete that no one understands it's all MK Ultra 1984 mind control. And Alex Jones comes on TV and he's like love Israel, worship Israel, buy this garbage life straw I'm selling, buy some gold, because the only good people hoard gold. If it wasn't for him telling people that the TV's fake, come to the internet where it's real and the government doesn't own it, if it wasn't for that, I don't think the rest of the world would be completely brainwashed. But they just need to be exposed for basically that the internet is completely controlled. And so now everyone's like, oh, I don't watch TV anymore. I watch the internet. It's the truth. The internet's the truth. So it's not that hard. And it's not the biggest goal. Yeah, it's like the second biggest goal. Like, technically, controlling America is controlling the world. USA is controlling the world, but it's not. Like, I'm talking about separating from that. Like, what they do in Sweden, in Germany, is not our business, right? Now, if there's a terrorist nation who's taking over other nations, using our nation and taking over our nation to do so, then that concerns us. But when Germany votes people in who want to help their people, it's not our problem. When Sweden wants to do something, we don't have to be like, no, you've got to be like Hollywood says, and you got to do all that. Like it did. I don't even care what Sweden's doing, really, right? As long as they're like making pretty women still, I'm fine with whatever Sweden's doing. Making good music, they can keep that up. Obviously you might need to watch certain people, but none of that's like a concern. So there is a bigger goal, and that bigger goal would be taking over the world. But at the same time, I think the person who does straighten America out, they will be worshipped by the world. So in essence, it's the same thing, but it's not. Like there's a much bigger extended plan than what I'm talking about, and that would be if I cared in taking over the world, and I don't. I don't care in taking over America, but America owes too many people too much, and so I'm going to make them pay it back. I'm going to make the politicians and the government workers and the lawyers, uh, and any media pundits. I hate saying teachers, but yeah, I'm thinking they're part of it. They're extreme part of it too. No matter how passive aggressive they act, I've got to like get that out of my head. That just because they act like sissies doesn't mean that everything they do is sissy like, and that they have been spreading really horrible uh, uh, plans for global domination. Basically, like that's kind of what the schools do, on some extent, is to teach you to be a good slave to a global domination bent empire, and to worship their wars and their death. You got to worship killing the Germans. You got to worship killing Arabs. You got to worship killing anything except for saying anything bad about America. You never do that because America's perfect in every way, number one. So the teachers, the doctors, I mean, you put most of these people in prison, and things start getting sorted out. Okay. And I did kind of get off track because I was a while back. I was talking about what happens after that, what would happen after that, and then I was saying that they're not going to let this stuff happen. What would happen after that is they'll declare war on America, which they're already going to do, and they're already doing with their other nations. But America has the flesh bags alive. Still, they still have enough white people in their nation left to fight in the military to go after the global domination conquest. Like that's why they can still spread anti-Venezuelan propaganda, because there's enough people in America, probably well over 50% still, who still support taking over whatever nation is the next who has $5 to steal. So these people basically all rounded up, put in prison, and so I don't know. I get this weak point for these teachers because I'm kind of an educator myself, and I've been educated, and I know a couple of them did guide me. So, but I don't think that's generally the case. But I think dealing with those people, you deal with them properly, and then things start to change from there. You basically reinstate the Constitution. It's not as hard as it sounds, and it's like a big task. I mean, but that's why I've spent 10 years researching it. I mean, no one spends 10 years researching their craft and looking into it. No doctor does that. Doctors supposedly spend 10 years, but they go to school, and people go to school are lazy mentally. They learn slow. School is for slow learners. Like you're wasting your life if you go to school. So if a doctor says I've gone to school for 10 years, what they mean is they've read about 10 books. And a person like me reads 10 books in a day or two. So the difference between someone else for century for something. And I've looked into this for 10 years, so I have a lot on it, and it's easy to do. It's not complicated to me. There's going to be people who oppose it, and those people are terrorists. And then there's going to be cops and FBI who refuse to arrest terrorists, as they have been since long before my birth, and they're already terrorists. So you're right. It boils down to one thing: who's going to arrest themselves? Are they going to start arresting themselves? What do we need? We need like a SS squad, something like that. We need a squad of real. I don't want to give away certain things because they'll place their agents in certain places, and I can tell you I'm not good at falling for people's lies, but the people surrounding me are always, no matter who they are, all the time, everyone's always trying to tell me to go worship some bad people, like constantly, like every Satanist is like hail Satan and worship Anton LaVey, after I, claiming they understand the Abrahamic peoples, and Anton LaVey is one of them. It's like, like people like that, like it, not just Satanists, but everyone's kind of like that. They're all trying to reroute me back into their system they've created. And it's so weird. Sometimes it's on such a high level. It's like, can you like not think for yourself, or are you one of them? I think a lot of these people who get near me are actually them. And that's easy to think when someone who works for Trump and hangs out with Trump and lives in a CIA military community comes and starts buying me a bunch of gifts and offering me, and spending endless money. Like, it's easy to think that's a possibility when it's obviously been happening. And it's been happening like my whole life. Like, I've been dealing with these people my whole life, not necessarily over this situation, but in other ways. So I know exactly who to look for. And I can tell you, like, even the people who I thought were my friends have tried for years now to get me to calm down and bring these people literally back into my life. And then they'll start talking about like a grown adult stuff that's no one else's business, and definitely not terrorist business, terrorists with badges business. And it's like, wow, dude, like that to me, that is the problem that I'll face. Like, who would I fill cabinets with, and who would I have do all this? Because it will be them. They will be the first people to approach me at any point in time and say, hey, let's help. Like there's Jersak, Jerszak on my channel here. He's on like all the alt-right channels. He loves these, the so-called Jews. He loves them, but he claims he doesn't, and he's against them. But he's behind a fake account. No one knows anything about him, and he tried to get me involved by getting me to go to these controlled groups, which I think that's great. Like, I'll go straight to the middle of a commie. I've been to OWS. I go straight. I went to a Nazi thing. I've been to the Republican National Convention. I think that's a great idea to go to those places, but not with the enemy beside you, not with people you don't know. But his idea was for me to travel way out of town and meet up with him somewhere and then go out, instead of him showing up here and taking me somewhere. And I don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You're not gonna. I fell for that recently, like some prostitute girl, because I was taking some new medication, and it made me really at ease. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna go with you. And you know what? The prostitute, literally bragging she's a prostitute, never showed up. Like, she said she wanted to date me. Obviously, I would never pay a woman for anything like that. But I mean, that's what you deal with in the city. Like, I had the one pedophile trying to talk to me about how she's gonna suck off my child and he's gonna suck me off, and it's like, that's Columbus, dude. Like, I don't want to run this city. I don't want to be near this city. So I can't trust the people around me because of this stuff, and that does become the biggest problem. Who can I trust? And it seems to be I can't trust anyone, which is the same it's always been. I mean, my life's never been any different. Like, I remember back in the day, like 14 years old, there's this little bitch called JP, and he was just a little bitch, and he ratted us out. And it's like, well, back then, like, we were learning early on. And then, like, even the most hardcore dude I thought, like, was the hardest core dude in the city, even I kind of, like, looked up to him because I didn't realize who I was. I didn't realize I was a freaking terror. I was looking in the mirror and see who I used to see and who everyone else used to see, like this cute little gay boy. Apparently that's what people see. And it's like, but now I know better, and I know I'm not that. But I know to look for these people because I've always, been involved in things. And so like, I am that another one of the million reasons why I'm perfect for this job, because I can see right through people. If you come talk to me in my face, you can lie all you want, and you'll be telling me you're lying the whole time. I I have this rule where I don't speak with people online for more than an hour if I haven't met them, because so many people have attempted to just manipulate me and rob me of my money, try to kill me by starving me to death. And, like, and it's not necessarily that they were all trying to do that, but they just don't care if I eat. They don't care if I sleep. They don't care if I bathe. So I've grown to this thing I'm used to, where online I won't talk to people for more than an hour unless I've met them. And then if I meet you in real life, like, you're not allowed to keep talking to me online, because people take advantage of that, and they don't care that I don't eat. If you're not dying of starvation, then when someone else is, it doesn't matter to you. When my heart's acting up and my pulse is like changing around, my blood pressure changing around because someone wants to talk to me all day on the phone and I haven't ate, and I'm dying of starvation, then another person the next day and another person the next. I've been dealing with how to weed people out forever. I was going to make videos on that, but I don't want to teach them. They're trying to learn certain things from me, and I'm not going to teach them. I'm going to discipline them. I'm not going to teach the elite how to think. I'm not going to teach them advanced processes. I'm not going to teach them how the empires fell in the past, because they want to know that so they can fix it. And I'm going to teach them what they've never been taught before, which is discipline. But the whole people around me, who can I trust and how am I going to get through? It's just as simple as showing the world that they're terrorists and they're all protecting one another. And who knows? Alex Jones people cry 1776 revolution is going to happen, but they're doing that, at the behest of the Illuminati evil government. So it's not a good recommendation to actually fall through that. And then they can do things amongst chaos that normal people can't. They already have complete control of every human I've ever met. If there's some sort of chaos and they get to shut down the TV or the internet for a week, these people will be complete slaves the first time the internet, like, if the government could turn the TV on for 30 seconds a week, like, they would like repeat that 30 seconds over and over. So it's a lot of stuff, but I've already gone through it all, and I've already been through most of the stuff that I will have to go through. So it's like nothing to me. The only thing is finding out who to replace these people with and who's going to round them up. And unfortunately, even talking about that, tells them my plan there. So my plan is just to educate America, make them stop being so proud to be pedophiles, make them stop being so proud to genocide and rob and enslave all the humans, and to protect them from themselves, because God's God always exterminates the empire, but this time God sees that the empire has taken over the whole earth. So he's not going to, the cycle's going to change one way or the other. And God's plan is to always like crush the empire. And I'm like, hey man, maybe we can crush the leaders of the empire and the deceptors, and then we can go from there and reform the empire. And it does get a little complex, but I'll check that. Oh no, I can't even tell you my full goal, because if like trying to educate Americans on why they're murdering people every day for hundreds of years, and why openly the cops, the government, and the citizens of America are openly mutilating hundreds of thousands of baby penises a year as part of their American ritual. It's what I'm talking about, my expectations are not severe. Like my expectations are reduced. Hey, what's up, Lyric? My expectations are reduced uh, I his angels up earth. He's already sent his people back to earth, and they are waiting just for the right time. And that right time, of course, is when the empire expends itself again, and in another large war. When they decide to do that next, the empire will start rounding people like me up, and that's when people like me will start fighting back if we're still here. But he's telling me to leave America, so he doesn't. I don't think he wants me to be here when he floods it and destroys it, because he's like, what I just heard, he's completely smashing Australia now, and Australia is just another arm of the empire. So it's on that, and man, it. My goal is pretty simple. My goal is to protect humans or goals. I'm offering knowledgeable solutions because people want that. Um, or no, they don't. I've never seen a presidential candidate say anything really intelligent. They don't care. They're just on TV. They're idiots and actors. They really have nothing to offer. Nor would they. That's why they have to fill their cabinet with corporate cronies. That's why they need a cabinet, because none of these people think for themselves. They can't come up with a plan. They don't know anything about economics or war or lack of. They don't know anything about security or technology. They don't know anything. And that's another thing about what I said about is a little worrisome. Who I fill cabinets with, like technically, I don't need these cabinets, and they're always the same people. They're always the Jewish leaders. So I'm not going to fill them with those, and I don't really need them because I'm smarter than these people. These people are just criminals, and I've been watching them, so I know their tactics. And the important part is I know how to defeat their tactics. That I've learned their tactics, and then obviously, once you learn someone's tactics, it's only a matter of like 10 seconds before you learn what defeats those tactics. Maybe sometimes you've got to look at whether this has been done before and what happens. And the outcome is always to kill those people when they get out of hand. But they're not going to kill me because they can't kill me, and they're just not able to. Like I've had enough stuff come at me. I'm not allowed to die until my time's come. And in fact, I recently thought of sharing that because that would be a good way to get everyone's attention. If I'm like on TV and if I pop myself and I don't die, like that would be amazing. Like people would be like, wait a minute, like everyone would like fall to their knees if I do that. And I kind of want to prove it to myself, but just in case, I'm doing this instead. It would be a lot faster if I could prove that they won't allow me to die. But I think this other stuff is telling people things is also hard. But also, why would I get on the media? Because if I did something that showed I was immortal or something, why would they put me on the media? They wouldn't. They would come just like every other time. I act in the media, but they'll put anyone else in the media who act like a hateful Nazi because they're not being baited. And it like the media bunts, they know who. When Breitbart interviews me, they know that I'm being truthful, and that's why they don't put it out there, because they're scared of it. It destroys their whole thing. What are you saying, Olive? You got to kind of comment more on that. But yeah, I mean, the campaign is useful basically to push to expose to people what's going on. Just it will. Wait, what? What? Just name one thing any of these candidates say that I haven't already said, and I didn't invent. And that's the only thing they say too. Like they're like, it's almost like they're not even real humans. Like my computer talks to me and says more intelligent things than these candidates ever have. They've never said anything. I've met these candidates in real life, and they've never sat around and said anything intelligent. They're just like, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. They're like I met Kazak at the gym when I was a child, and I'm like a child, and he's a so-called adult, and I'm like sitting there lifting more weights than him, and it's like, dude, what are you doing in the gym, you poser? And then later in life, I learned he's in the gym because he was just like, his job as a politician is to run his mouth and to act like he's your friend. That is literally their only job, is to act like they're someone's friend. They don't have to offer anything else. So he now runs Ohio because he can run his mouth, and he's never offered anything of intelligence. He's went straight to New York and talked about Jesus, and they reported on him that the Jewish people he's interacting with was laughing at him, and like, you know, basically because they're laughing at Jesus. So, I mean, he's just a clown. These people don't know anything. There is no chance for them if I get on a debate. I could tell them to debate me about something I don't know anything about and they're masters of, and I could probably defeat them on that topic. And I would even present that. But the thing is I gotta get it to be recorded and then put out there, because I can record this stuff all I want, but they're terrorists who have been enslaving me, robbing me, and kidnapping me, and along with other people for so long. But I mean, especially me, I'm like a person of interest to these people, and I always have been. And that's even more of a reason to think that something's going to come out of this, because they know stuff about me that I don't know. And what I don't know, whatever it is they know, is like really important to me progressing forward, and very important at destroying their levers of control. They've always been very interested in me, and they use the excuse I was really smart as their excuse. But it doesn't add up. As a really smart person, I can, like, you know, analyze shit, and it doesn't add up that they were just, you know, watching me for this and that reason, or altering my path for this and that reason. It's clear that they are scared of me. And I've been testing people a lot on the fear thing the past 4 years, and people are fucking terrified of me. I mean, wow. They are. I mean, when the FBI came out, like, they were like shaking, dude. They acted like they were in the presence of a god. And it's like, the only thing I was thinking is like, dude, like, if you think I'm your god, why do you got your hand on your gun? You think that's going to kill me? It's like, no, I'm on the right path here. These people are fucking terrified of me, and they need to be, because they know what happens. They know what would happen if someone like me came out and could get attention. Their game would be completely over. People do worship me. They have since I was a kid. And like, I'm not sure why. Because nowadays I'm just so smart. People hate it. People despise me because of it. But when I was a kid, I was quiet, and so I never said anything that offended everyone. And like, I always thought it was kind of weird. Like, I thought I was just like some little bitch or something when I was a kid, right? So I was always like, why do people act like they worship me? But it's because I'm like a leader, and apparently I'm also smart too. It took me a long time to figure that out, because they never like came out and said, hey, you're really smart. They would like score me and tell me things. And, you know, they didn't say, hey, you're like, I guess maybe they did a couple times say, hey, you're really smart. We got to put you over here in these special classes. But it always seemed like some sort of scam or some lie. 50% of the time, it was very dubious. But looking back, I can write that off as they're just not smart people. Like the teachers, they don't know what to do with someone who's smarter than them, because they've never reached that level themselves, so they don't know how to move forward with that. It's like if I would take I shouldn't say basketball, because I've won a basketball trophy before. If I would take a flute player under my wing, I suck at that, right? Or at least I used to. Maybe I'm good now, but I couldn't really teach a flute player anything. You know, if I was a flute teacher, I wouldn't know what to do with a person who actually knew how to play flute. So let's look back this. Yeah, vaccines, whatever. The doctors are complete terrorists, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Vaccines are just them trying to sell more dope so they can live rich, fancy lives. Who's got the megalomania, Olive? The medicines for my mental health, do they hurt me? No, what hurts me slave camps, and these doctors are going to be tried for murder and capital crimes on an extreme level. Yeah, these mental health doctors, I've done videos on it. Like they're just eugenics plans. The psychologists and they're under their god, the pedophile Freud, the pedophile so-called Jew Freud. So pills can do whatever you think they do, and but they're not designed to work. They're designed to kill you and make you brain dead and sterilize you. They the psychology people aren't like good people trying to help you. They're really evil people. And hold up, I'll be right back. I need a drink. Now, yeah, I'm sure meth works. When the doctors prescribe your child meth, we could at least hope and pray that the meth makes them smarter. I've never done meth. I'll do it though, just because no one should ever talk about drugs they haven't done. Like when your terrorist doctor sells you dope, he's never used that dope and he doesn't know what it does. And all of my doctors, I'm like this garbage gabapentin I have, I'm like, it makes you feel drunk. And he's like, well, you're taking too much. And it's like, okay, well, why is the person I know who takes gabapentin act like they're mentally disabled? And I thought it was a mentally disabled person until I took gabapentin and I realized that he's probably actually, his mind's been destroyed from taking this medication that mimics alcohol. So yeah, um, medicines for your mental health. That the whole mental health thing, it's not about drugs. It's about putting like people like me who want to get rid of pedophiles and get rid of terrorists and genociders and murderers and kidnappers. Their mental health system is about locking people like me up. It's not about do pills work. It's about can they sterilize you? Can they lock you in a prison? Can they rob you? And it's another way they funnel money through the citizens so they can then go buy bombs to drop on Germans' heads or Arabs' heads or whoever so they can steal land from those people and eventually genocide those people because they don't want them alive. Now, again, with the passive aggressive manipulation, these people are on a super serious level of that. So they'll completely deny this. But any coward starts denying he's committed a crime once he's confronted. Like, dude, I have this bad habit of like telling the truth. One time I was pulled over and the cops was like, "You got any weed on you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it's like, well, just like, I don't like to lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not good at it. Why try? I mean, I could probably be really good at it. I think I have been a few times I've needed to, but apparently I don't, even when I need to. Because it's just bullshit. Like, why? And then the cops are like, to be honest, like, the cop was really nice. Like, it really fucks with people's heads when you're honest. Like, all these people might hate me. Like, everyone in the world probably hates me for being honest, but you're all being educated. So, that my goal isn't to make you love me and kiss me and hug me. It's entirely to educate you. Like, I didn't like leave my grandma's house thinking I love you, grandma, and I was like, what a stupid bitch. But grandma was the only person left in this world who educated and disciplined and taught people shit. Even she was, a little bit brainwashed by the government, but not anywhere near the people below 100 years are. No, not at all. So you know what I'm saying? Like, my goal isn't to make people love me and kiss me. They do if I don't, if I'm not honest. People naturally do that. Sometimes I fucking like the part of my ability to be able to do this is because like I don't mind making one or two people hate me because I've never felt it. And I was like, okay, well, hey, like, hey, that feels good. Like, no one insults me anymore on my guitar videos. Apparently, I'm good now. And like it was kind of like weird. That was like the first time in my life anyone ever really insulted me when I posted my first guitar videos on one of my other channels. And it hurt like at first because I've never really been insulted. Yeah, no one ever says I'm stupid or can't do anything really, except for like there's certain assholes who raised me who like wouldn't let me do shit, but they never said you suck at it and you're stupid. They just would try to prevent me from being me. But the drugs they give you, the mental health system is not about drugs or mental health. It's about sterilizing you now. And it's about isolating you from society. It's about brainwashing you. You know, let's let's say you got a problem with let's say the government goes to war against France. They hate Macron because he said the Illuminati controls America and Europe should create an army. That we need an army to protect ourselves from what's going on in the world. And you know they started destroying Germany after that. Just magically, France started getting destroyed after that. So the psychologist would take someone like Macron and they would contact the police and say he's psycho, schizophrenic, and he's going to kill people. He needs locked up and medicated. That's what psychology is for. It's for people who love pedophiles. They love the pedophile Freud. They love, you know, the so-called Jews, Jewish leaders like Freud, Edward Bernays, his cousin. You know, he's drugging the water in America with fluoride, and that's done for several reasons. Probably to dumb people down, probably to destroy the environment, to poison the well. It's an old trick. They've been doing, the so-called Jews have been doing this forever. Which sign? I mean, no, I can't. My sign's not in here. And right now there's not much room to move because I got my instruments out and stuff. So, like, I would have to, like, take, it's a big sign. It's like as big as me, right? Um, so I can't right now. But I'm making a new sign anyways. I've got this stuff over here open. I'm making a new sign. It's going to say Jones 2020, and the whole point of this video is to like ask for ideas of what I need because I'm going on the road. It doesn't matter. I'm getting out of here one way or another, and I'm making a new sign, Jones 2020, and then the other one's going to be. If no one else helps me, I'll have to go with put the rich and the government in prison. Government and rich elite to prison. And I'm going to put Illuminati, an anti-Illuminati pyramid in the background. So that's probably going to be the main sign I use. It's not the new, not go educate people on the Jewish leaders right away because I need to bait them. I need to bait them, and the media owners are scared, too scared of me when I go out there with stuff that says Jews control the media. You know, when I go out there with Jewish articles that brag about their control and the media they control, that's a little too much. But I think people are. I do get a lot of, like, the white people are all aware. They're very aware. They're manipulative, and they're profiting off what America does. They're profiting off what global Jewry does. So they don't want to kick it. That's what the alt-right is for. The alt-right is people who want to name the Jew, but then worship them instead of fixing the problem because they benefit from it. Like David Duke lives a fancy, rich gambling lifestyle where he gets to travel the world and get to be a TV superstar because he is one of them and he's working for them. So he gets to do all that stuff because he's benefiting from it. You know, Donald Trump, if he wasn't one of them, he's rich. His family is rich because of it, because he's always been working with them. You know, Bernie Sanders, he's a superstar on TV because he's working with them. You know, Ron Paul, TV superstar because he works with them. He gets a lot of cash because of that. Kokesh, same thing. TV superstar gets a lot of cash. It's just the same for all of them. So I'm not gonna at first speak of that topic. It's gonna be about my campaign, and it's gonna be about, see, the people love free stuff, and there's going to be plenty of free stuff because they're going to start. Every citizen is owed like 10,000 to 100,000 by the government. Starting with each mail the government has chopped off your penis. So I think that's like $250 million per mail. I value all the times they've kidnapped me, enslaved me, and robbed me, and altered my life at $250 billion with this was a long time ago. I asked for that, and I said every day that my demands aren't met, that the price goes up, and my choice of what it was, 8 vehicles and a super large compound, and of course servants to take care of it all. Now the problem with telling everyone, hey, you're getting free money, is these people are going to dry up, like they're going to work their fingers to the bone, literally, and then they're going to have no more fingers left. So you can only squeeze so much milk out of a cow. And the cow dies, and you're like, Jesus, well, we got some steaks now, but there's only so much steak per cow. So I was thinking possibly one of the signs could be free money, because everyone would respond to that. In this city, free cheeseburgers would get everyone's attention. Maybe the whole nation's like that, though, but I know this is like the fattest city in the world. So free cheeseburgers would get everyone's attention here. But I'm not worried about this city. It's got a lot of voting potential, but the education level of people here, I don't think they're going to be the last people in the world who can understand the Illuminati or governments and how they work. So I'm not going to cater to them. But the promise of free money, I was thinking that is definitely should be included in my campaign posters. But you guys got any ideas? Olive Mule. What medications am I prescribed to? I'm prescribed to whatever they want to sell me. What makes you think I'm on medications they're selling me? Yeah, you're probably right about dope not making people smarter, but it makes them stronger and faster and better, or else every athlete in the world wouldn't be on them. And now, God created all these drugs for human use, and some of them do make you smarter. But if you're lazy, you're not going to get smarter no matter how much drugs you do. If you're like stupid because you want to be stupid, drugs aren't going to make you smarter. Like, you're not going to smoke some meth and then watch Jerry Springer and be like, oh, I'm so smart now. Like, oh, I counted all the hairs on Jerry Springer's head. He's got 250 hairs. Like, I'm so smart now. There are drugs that make you smarter, and I'm not sure what they are, but they tried to make me smarter by giving me meth when I was a kid. And I'm not sure how much smarter that made me, but I'm clearly nowhere near the humans anymore, and I wasn't back then. But I was advanced beyond the humans as like a toddler, so I can't say the meth really had anything to do with it. You know, the Ritalin, whatever amphetamines they're selling. Yeah, anything makes you dependent on it, dude. Look at food as a drug, according to what you're saying. Look at these fucking fat asses in this nation, dude. Like, they're addicted to TV and food. Like, literally, they're killing, they're genociding Germans and Arabs so they can have more cheeseburgers and TV. That is what their entire life is about, is eating cheeseburgers and watching TV and murdering people. They're addicted to murder. They're addicted to enslavement. They're addicted to robbing people. They're addicted to cheeseburgers. They're addicted to food. They're addicted to degeneracy. I mean, like, you can get addicted to you can get used to anything. Like, I take caffeine every day and my body dislikes it when I don't take it. So my body got used to that. But it doesn't really matter. Drugs are like really no topic. They should be completely legal. And anyone, if you want to, and anyone who suggests a person should be enslaved for taking some sort of drug, their family should be shipped off to a labor prison to labor for the rest of their life. They can see anyone who suggests slavery, murder, they should get to experience what they suggest so they can show the world how great it is. And the second you do that, no one's going to suggest that stuff anymore. All these doctors, these psychiatrists, they need to start taking all their medicine. We need to force them to start taking all the medicine. None of these doctors know anything about the medicine they're taking, so we need to force them to take it if they're going to act the way they are. And a lot of this isn't necessarily about just cleaning up the system. The people themselves need cleaned up. And that's God's plan, is to clean up the people. By he already tried to educate them. But when you clean up the system, you can clean up the people they've infected. Let me look back through this. Yeah. Olive Mule. Whose side are you on? You know, the way you talk sounds like you're suggesting I'm on government. It sounds like you're suggesting that you need me kidnapped and drugged. Is that what you're suggesting? That what is your real name? Like, I would like to know the name and address of the parents of anyone who ever suggests I need kidnapped and drugged, because their parents are guilty of neglect. And the bloodline of these people is what infects the earth. So I hope you aren't like these other people who talk to me every day telling me that they're going to kidnap and drug me, because no one has ever had the balls to say that to my face, even when I was a little kid. They might have beat me and all sorts of stuff, but boy, no one has the balls these days to talk about kidnapping and drugging me. Man, that's not to my face. On the internet, they love that shit, but I tell you, in the real world, people bow down to me pretty much. It's crazy. Like, I'm not, like, saying absurd shit. Like, everyone's jealous of me, dude. Like, my whole life is like a fucking crazy movie. And I really am a genius. I've got all the paperwork to prove that. Like, that's not like some sort of mental deficiency I have. Like, the fact that I could read books when everyone else couldn't even count or say their ABCs yet. Like, I mean, Jesus, I'm a different species. That's clear. That's why I begin to think that. That's why I begin to realize they're probably monitoring me, and that's what they're hiding from me, is I'm probably not fully whatever the humans are. The humans seem less capable than a computer, actually. They're definitely less harder working, and they seem to be able to store things in memory a lot shorter than my computers can. But I'm not like a megalomaniac making up shit. I'm saying murderers are going to get murdered. Genociders are going to get genocided. Kidnappers are going to get kidnapped. This is God's law. It's the way the world works. The world, it like everything in the world is like a smooth flowing motion. It's like a circle that goes back around. And yeah, so I'm not on whatever I say about me being on or off drugs. Yeah, who's Chris Burden? I don't know who these people are. When you talk about like actors on TV, you have to tell me who that is. I don't watch TV. I read books and stuff. Like I keep saying, fucking, I don't know who Chris Burden is because, like, when I say I'm a genius, that means I don't watch TV. You can't like watch TV and read books at the same time. Well, you can if you're me. You can do like 3, 5 things at once, but it's like not the most efficient. But I definitely didn't get to where I am by watching TV. So I have no idea what's on TV in the last 8 years. That's why you don't want to watch the alt right and all that stuff because they're vicious demons who are trying to destroy your mind so they can rape your family and steal your money and kill your family and kill your neighbors and kill your friends. It's not like murderers are good people. It's not like, fucking terrorists are good people. Terrorists are bad people, and when they eventually try to take over the world, and so the creator of the world has designed all sorts of stops there to destroy them. And my goal here is to offer a peace branch to a nation that seems like a bunch of murderers, terrorists, and enslavers. Well, is. And, you know, like I'm saying, the whole point necessarily isn't me to expect kidnap. No murderer is going to vote for someone who says hang murderers. No kidnapper is going to vote for someone who says kidnappers. No terrorist is going to vote for someone who says terrorists should be put in labor prisons and forced to work to repay their debt. No doctor is going to no drug dealer is going to vote for someone who says legalize drugs. No doctor is going to vote for someone who says legalize drugs. There's very few cops who would do that, but it doesn't matter. I've got plenty of stuff on their whole thing. Like, they're all involved. They're involved when most of these people claim to be pro-drug, or they just want to use the eugenics pedophilia psychology system to enslave people and murder them. Yeah, it's right, Lyric. Are you still in here, Lyric? I'm not sure if this is even right. Well, there doesn't need to be a whole bunch of safe havens for white people anymore. What white people are going to have to do is going to have to stop genociding the entire planet, or God's going to erase them. So, like, that's kind of like the whole point here is you either if you keep working with the dual citizens, with the global citizens, then you are their soldiers, and you are in their what you are going to pick up a gun to defend them from good people who want to get rid of the demons of the world. So there's no safe place for white people anywhere in the world. Like there's 190 white ran nations out of 195 nations in the world, it seems. And I'm sure somewhere one of them is safe. I don't know the entire history, so I don't know what happened in Europe. But these nations aren't all their nations. Most of these nations aren't their nations. The world isn't a white world. It's God's world. And hell, sometimes it seems like God invented the Jews to destroy anyone who got out of hand. It makes me wonder that, because the way white people work so hard to try to they've robbed me of billions of dollars and tried to completely destroy my life. Like there's never been there has been plenty of the Jewish leaders in my life, but there's never been a black person in my life really who was involved. I guess there was one of these psychology places, because what they do is they start filling their empires with the people they've been enslaved. It's a mind game. They're like, look, we're a multicultural nation. We're good people. And then you open your door to the vampire. You're like, oh, good people, come on in. And the vampire's like, you're dead. So, yeah, when I go to the psychologists and it's non-whites there now, they're still running the pedophile Freud operation. They've got a different skin color to try to brainwash me. I swear they've been using blacks to try to get into my life further recently. They've sent a lot after me. It's weird. Like, people act like they know what I say in secret. You know, if you know what I say in secret, then you know the ultimate agenda of all this is they're going to declare total war on the humans. And then I'm offering a chance to protect you. And I can do that. I can destroy them. So I need help, though. Well, I don't need help. If I needed help, I wouldn't have been born a genius who could read when no one else could even talk yet. You know, I really don't need help. I'm just thinking maybe I'll forget something, like, oh, my toothbrush. Literally, that's how I opened the video. Maybe I might forget a toothbrush. Remind me to take my toothbrush. I've asked for help how many times and no one's offered me real help. It's almost like everyone's on it. But yeah, back on that dope thing. Drugs do a lot of things, or else strong men wouldn't all be on drugs. So, drugs do a lot of things. Drugs help keep me calm. When I have terrorists who have stolen all money from me, stolen my family's houses from them, when I have terrorists who have kidnapped me, for supposedly erasing some worthless scumbag, when I have terrorists who are trying to kidnap me just for using these natural drugs, like, drugs are good at calming me down so I don't execute people before their time has come. Because there are plenty of people deserving of the death they have spread across the world. But there is a time and a place for that. And that's what this is all about. This is about setting that time and place up. And I've been trying to ask people for like a year now, like, well, let's get this show on the road. Let's move it. You know, I'm getting tired of hearing about the change coming. You know, I'm getting tired of hearing about the Illuminati demons, Casper the Ghost, and Scooby Dooby Doo. I want to see Casper the Ghost and Illuminati demons. I want to see them breaking bricks, repaying the people they have robbed. I want to drive down the road and see them picking up trash off the road. 18 hours a day, too. No normal 9 to 5. They get to do everything they force back on the humans. The aliens are going to get it. That's the whole point. I don't need to run for local government because I'm going to save the world from these demons. And I know my channel has a lot of demons. It started out 10 years ago. Like, they would just be like, we love Israel. And you're like, I follow people. Like I have stalkers, but I stalk people. So I can track IP addresses. I can find people's addresses. Like the FBI agent who came in my life, I was sending her all sorts of anonymous mail and stuff. The Saw movie, Let's Play it. He's like, let's play a game. I would, like, hide my fingerprints and send that to them, where it says, let's play a game. And that motherfucker gets terrorized because they're like, oh shit, which one of these people I was trying to kill fucking found out who I am? And it's like, there's definitely A lot of shit going on. But the important thing here is we kill murderers and enslavers. We erase them from the planet because they're not going to stop until they're gone. And what we're going to do is we're going to take anyone who's been murdering people and involved in it, and we're going to try them. And we're not going to get that far, clearly, because they're going to wage war upon us. But all these demons in this world, like the world is mostly demons at this point. I'm not running this expecting it to be smooth. Like, my life has been smooth for a while. It's never smooth. It's like, I'm getting tired of this. Let's get some action going on. And that's what I was born for. That's what I was built for. That's what I live for. And man, this isn't about running for campaign. It is. I mean, I like to, like the drugs obviously do something because it brings me down to this level where I can be calm. Like they had me on gabapentin. I don't even know the name of the other crap. But whatever. I mean, there's billions of drugs. I'm on like, what's that? Licorice root. I'm on licorice root. Here, let's see. You're asking what drugs I'm on. Okay, so yeah, well, took about 200 milligrams caffeine earlier today. Not about, took 200 milligrams, strictly measured. This is just, there's salt, pretty much drug, right? Prevents the blood from coming out of my system and stuff. Are you still there, Lyric? Of course not. It feels like sometimes this is just a distraction. And you're isolating me. But whoever is isolating me, all these media owners, goodbye. Labor prisons, all their assets seized. Oh man, things are about to change. They're going to change. Send those murderers and kidnappers after me real fast. You better. Get scared. Let those little girl panties get filled. Because, what other drugs we got? Ooh, B12. Natural energy. Might work, might not, right? You never know. Here's a drug that works. Biotin. I take that drug, and it makes my hair and nails stronger. You can visually see that working. Here, this kind of works. Whatever this allergy pills, it's a diphenhydramine. That drug does something. It dries me out at the very least. Apparently, it helps me sleep or something. And what else do we have? Man, we got a lot of stuff here. I see. Yeah, see, I can't prove all these drug works, but the biotin is easy to prove. And there's tons of dude. I mean, I can't go through everything I got. Like, Valium calm me down. Like when I have to deal with schizophrenic murderers every day of my life who want to lock me up and drug me with their psychology. Those type of people are lucky that God invented Valium and stuff because any good human's response to a genocider and a murderer and an enslaver is good night. And that is God's answer to them. That is any good person's response to pedophiles. Dude, pedophiles have no rights. Genociders have no rights. They don't get trials. Please. That's why America is so scared of me, dude, because they're all guilty, aren't they? And that's why God is going to judge. That's why God is burning their nation down as we speak, freezing it, flooding it. And I'm still crazy, right? As this stuff happens, I'm still crazy. But that's cool, because it's just going to keep, because they want it to, because they're so obsessed with murder and death, they want to die themselves. Like, that probably is one of the most realist statements that could be said, is people obsessed with killing other people and enslaving them. They, like the women, like they're always talking about choke me during sex, fuck me harder. They want to bleed, they want to hurt. Like, these bad people, they want to be hurt because no one's ever had the balls to stand up to them. It's like their fetish. Like, they really are these gay people who just want to bend over and get choked and fucked until they bleed. That is like what America has turned into, a bunch of belligerent bastards who just, they want someone to discipline them. They want someone to teach them to stop being pedophiles. They want someone to teach them how to not kill people. They want that, but they don't want it in a book form because they hate books. They hate knowledge. They hate learning. But what they really want is what they give to other people. Just like most people. What other people give to you is how they want to be treated. Like, I want a person who you know, no nonsense and doesn't like hearing falsities. So I do the same thing. You know, and other people, they want to genocide other people and steal all their land and money because they want the same thing. They want everything taken from them. And I'm like their gay lover, and I'm here to give the bad people everything they want in return. I mean, come here, big boy. We're going to give you some chokings and some spankings and some fucking the butt till it's bleeding. Baby. And they're like, yes, sir. What's that? Can't even remember his name. See, it's pointless to remember these douchebags' names. There's no point of running a political. We're in a terrorist organization. There's no point really in running politics except for to get the other people's attention to tell them, hey, this is a terrorist organization. Let's fix it. But didn't get anywhere out there. So if you guys ever can think of what you do when you travel the world, and what I should pack, if you can ever come up with a slogan to stop, if you actually dislike pedophiles, let me know some good anti-pedophile slogans. And if you love pedophiles, definitely, you got to tell the world. You got to spread the good word. You got to tell everyone that. Just like this girl that contacted me last week, you got to tell the whole world, be like, yeah, I want our child to have sex with us. And like, thank you, girl. You are so good. You're the most honest person I've ever met in America. Like, honesty goes a long way. You know what? There's a lot of difference between that open pedophile and the other billion Americans who are chopping off their baby penises because they are passive, aggressive manipulators who love pedophilia. So, yeah. Okay. So, 2 hours. But, hey, I got till next week, and I'm out of here. Give me some ideas, and I'll see you guys in the news. And who knows, maybe they'll kill me, because I'll get in the news. I'm good at that. I'm good at getting in the news. I've been in the news a lot before. I remember when I was 18, and they said, record of temper kills another man. It's like, well, I made the news that time, didn't I, bro? So we'll figure out a way. The headline should have read, media terrorist frame man and rob him of his life in hope that man grows some balls and puts them in a labor prison eventually and seizes their assets. That's what it should have read. But they always like to lie and make up shit. Or it could have said, hey, man with record of not putting up with your bullshit refuses to put up with the bullshit of some drunken thug who thought he was a hardcore gangbanger, and he realized he wasn't shit but a bitch. So that maybe that should be my campaign. But you know what? They don't like talking like man. You got to talk like a fag to get around in America. So that would be a good sign. Sean Jones 2020, the other side of the thing said, get rid of bitches. Get rid of bitches. No more sissies, no more cucks. But, hey, I'm not against cucks, because y'all cucks what you do is you go work for your women, and your women bring me your money, and it's like, hey, your money fucking spends well for me, but you need to have some respect for yourself. So I'm like, I'm really more interested in you having some respect for yourself than I am in fucking your bitches. But hey, then I just have them bring me the money and not fuck them at all. Done that before. So yeah, hey, check out these. Check out these drugs I got. Oops, oops. That was some drugs, huh? Don't worry, nothing illegal here, right? Nose strips, y'all will love that. And I fit right in, dude. I bet you I should wear these when I go out on the campaign trail, and I put it on, and then I'll look just like them, and they'll be like, "Hey, he's one of us," because it like opens my nose, and my nose looks like that. Like seriously, it looks like that. See, look, I look just like him when I do that, right? You're like, he's one of us. Fucking so yeah. Hey, great. If you guys are ever interested in actually changing the world, let me know in the comments below. I understand why women end up on my page. I figured that out a long time ago. Well, except for the one who switched to government slogans. I guess I was wrong about why women are on my page at that point. But yeah, in a nation full of sissies, like telling the truth of how it's got to be and how it's going to be is like way off their radar. They're like, people in America, this back, oh, but they're just evil people. We got to lock them up for a couple days and they'll be so much better. I'm, I'm tired of their 100-year genocide, the Arabs too. I'm tired of them killing everyone. We just walk them away for 4 days. Or we can be like Trump, and when I get into office, I can be like, y'all some stupid bitches. I ain't gonna do nothing to Clinton. Clinton is my friend. She's my special friend. Clinton's my friend, like my friends Dean and Nick. When we got in a fight one time, and I crushed their skull open. Literally, the skull was crushed open. Pretty much. So yeah, yeah. You ain't got to worry about me, man, because I'm not gonna turn my back like these sissy terrorists Trump do. I'm not a bitch like Trump is. Trump's a bitch. You put me on the stage with these people, and they'll all fucking start crying. They'll be like, he's a scary person. They'd be like, he's the devil, get my Bible out. They pull out the satanic Bible and be like, oh, wrong Bible. Where's the other Bible? Anyways, yeah. Hey, I'll make a new video.